Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Anime Love Magic, and in this What If, we're going to be exploring what if Deku was in a zombie apocalypse. First of all, there's not going to be much High School of the Dead type stuff because Ecchi is not safe for YouTube. So, yeah. This is what High School of the Dead is all about, just in case you're wondering. So the story is going to start off when Deku. This is going to be the continuation of the OVA episode where everyone turns into zombies. So it all gets out of control, and Deku decides to set up base camp at the beach where him and All Might train. All Might is still alive, but at this point he's just a wrinkly old man, and no one really recognizes him. So it's just Deku and his classmates. So Deku and his classmates build a fort. They end up going to their houses and getting gear, but everyone else in the city has already turned into zombies. So it's only them and a couple of pro heroes left. So it's only the pro heroes and them. Every other civilian is already a zombie. The zombies are going to try attack them, but they will use their quirks to get out of there as quickly as possible. They end up gathering all the gear. They have sleeping bags, baseball bats, swords, and all that jazz. And they start off end up camping inside of one of their parents' cars. They drive to find a bus. They then take over the bus. They use the bus to try find a train or something to leave the city and go out to the countryside. Which they do, and they were left to the countryside. But at this point, all of Japan has already been taken over by the zombies. So the zombies are everywhere, but there's less of them around in the countryside. The countryside has many things: mountains, forests for them to train, and other gear. So they end up going out over to the mountains because zombies can't really climb up mountains. So it's gonna take sort of like a Moshe Farron type thing, where the zombies do evolve. At first, they're just mindless zombies, and then afterwards, they are going to evolve and be able to use their quirks. Once stage 2 has started, this is when it gets serious. So we're still at stage 1, where they can still be beaten by quirkless people. So the quirkless people have all concentrated into a church. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that the zombies only attack people with quirks, so they get powerful people onto their side, and afterwards they can feed on quirkless people. So quirked people taste better than people without quirks. So yeah, so some of the quirkless people end up gathering over to a church in the countryside. A class 1A has settled inside a cave in the mountains somewhere, where they are currently struggling to create fire. So Todoroki ends up having to use his fire side. Deku, at this point, he has learned how to use shoot style from being taught by other people in the class, and he's taking all recommendations so that they have the best chance of surviving. So Midoriya ends up being sort of the leader of the pack, even if Bakugo doesn't really like that. So Bakugo tries to split off onto his own group, which he does, and it's only really Bakugo and Kirishima. But the first day is harsh, so they came back defeated because they have no means of really making fire. So and they just played it off like, I felt like you guys needed me, so I came back. Even though they were kind of just scared of the zombies because there are so many of them. So they end up taking refuge, and they have created fire. They have gone out to the forest and have found some fruits, and they have hunted some animals with their quirks, obviously. So they are now having a feast when a bunch of survivors from a middle school down in the countryside come and approach them. One of them has been is in the middle of turning into a zombie, but they didn't notice that. But everyone in class 1A did. So everyone in class 1A took up a fighting stance, and all of a sudden the kid in the middle school ended up biting everyone, except for people in class 1A because they were already prepared. So then now class 1A are facing off a huge horde of zombies. So the huge horde of zombies is kind of just they're attacking. They're really powerful, and they are almost overpowering them because it's the entire middle school. So sadly, everyone in class 1A has to kill them all. They felt really bad, but they are now living in a completely changed world, so they have to deal with it, and they do deal with it. They end up having their feast, and after they threw all the bodies into a pile in the mountains. So they ended up going up to the peak of the mountain the next day, and they try to scope out places where they can go. Some of them brought radios, some of them brought entertainment like board games, and others just brought food, weapons, and supplies. So Deku is one of the people who just bought supplies and food. Todoroki just brought supplies and food. Bakugo, he brought some technology with him, like solar chargers and all that stuff, because he's a very smart person. But most of the people kind of just expected Momo to be able to create stuff for them. So they bought books for Momo so that she can create the thing. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. Comment down in the video. Thank you.